Good morning, folks. Good morning. Just sitting out here in the back. In the back. Uh, been painting all week, off and on, inside the house. As you can see, there's a little squirrel running out in my yard right now, playing around. I just want to give you guys a quick live and say, hey, things on YouTube are really getting to be, for me, hellacious. Now I'm doing it on this platform. I could go over there to my other channel where I do my music and play all this kind of crazy stuff, but I don't think I'll try to do that. Uh, I don't know if I can invite guests up yet or not here. Let me see. Well, it does say I can invite guests, so I'm gonna copy this and see if I'm able to do it. I'm like I said, I'm outside on my phone and just sitting in the backyard, wanting to know, uh, wanting to know if you guys can, if they're letting you come up here on the stream yard. So I just dropped the chat now. Hey, good morning, Mr. Gerald Bell. I see you this morning. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for coming up. It's just that I was sitting here. I've been in the house most of the week. I went to the fair. Uh, and as normal, I listen to YouTube, and yeah, it's getting to be kind of hectic. I watched the games over the weekend, some of them, some of the college games. I was so proud of Deion Sanders and his team with that, uh, overtime win that they had, that double overtime win over Colorado State. But then there's other things going on YouTube that I said that we would talk about here if people wanted to come up and say something. Hey, Uncle Claude, I thought I was able to drop the link and see if you wanted to come up and let's discuss this football stuff. Yeah, I did. I did drop the link. So if you wanted to hear it, I'm doing well, Uncle Claude. I'm doing real well. A little disappointed in the way things are being done on YouTube nowadays between our women and men, and people are breaking up. I did a little quick, like that little breakup music I did the other day for, for YouTube. All the content creators are going in here and saying things to one another and acting crazy. But no, I'm just sitting outside, out back in my yard and testing things out, see if anybody wanted to come up. I did drop the stream yard, and if you want to join, you can join. Hey, we could talk about our football games. We never did go over that. I know I won a couple, you won a couple, we lost a few, I lost a few. Uh, that Monday night game with the Steelers, what did you think about that, Uncle Claude? That's what I'm asking. Yeah. But then, too, there's other things going on. The economy is all screwed up. The president's at the United Nations this morning giving a big speech. I said I was going to watch it, but then I changed my mind because it kind of bums me out to hear him talk and act the way he does. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Oh, okay. I understand, Uncle Claude. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I know how that could be. We had a shooting here last week, and the young fella, I knew him. Well, I know of him. His parents, I do know, and yeah, was he ill or whether it's something accidental, I don't know. But here, it seems like death now is getting to be more of a, I don't know, it's hitting us more, just like this weather. Now, we got some beautiful weather here today. It's going to be around 83 degrees, maybe around, I'd say 3 o'clock. But this morning, hell, when I woke up, hell, I was kind of chilly. And I thought I was going to have to cut on the heater, but no. Okay, pretty worn down. They were ill for. I understand how that could be too. That takes a toll on us, also, Uncle Claude, when we care about somebody and we watch them, slowly go down. Yep, there's another squirrel out there in the backyard. I got plenty of squirrels around here. Squirrels looking for a nut, as they say. We got some YouTubers out here that's pretty squirrely too. Well, that's what this platform is for anyway. It's to talk with people and get their opinions on stuff. My poor girl Dovey. I don't know what's happened to her. I wish she would get some help. She was a good woman when I first met her on YouTube, but now it just look like things are falling downhill on her. I listened to Deanna Irving last couple of days. She's been kind of funny, and she's been doing her things her way. BS, I don't know what to say about BS. I was so disappointed in the way that she handled things and did things with who from New Mexico. Well, Jason, I'm gonna stop being like some content creators afraid to talk about people and their names. Supporting a guy that we know as a doggone racist, and he does things on here on YouTube, Cash App, having folks Cash App him. What makes it so bad, it's our sisters. Well, I'm not going to say all sisters, but it's some of our own that use this man to hurt us. And why? I don't know. I don't know why they use him to hurt us. She seems to have issues herself as a woman. Things aren't going right didn't go right in her life, and now she's back out with a vengeance. I think that people should say, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. We're not lords, we're not gods, we're not anything but human beings. But there are certain ways to get things off your mind, get things off your conscience, and just move on with life. If you make a mistake, you try to move on with it. Even at my age right now, I've made a lot of mistakes. Well, Rita's coming up now. See, I can see I'll have competition on here, but like I said, I'm on my own platform and I'm speaking my own mind right now about things. And I'm going to give people a chance to go back and look at some of these content creators I listened to this week, like Abuse of You, Deanna Irving, and believe it or not, also Sir King. He did a video about BS and the way she handled things on her platform. I think it was his next to last video. I should have wrote it down, but I'll say that he mentioned that how we as people do things to us, and we bring the enemy in, we bring the devil in. Anytime you support somebody that's full of hatred, they use black women up there, and these black women got to learn to stop this degrading themselves with amongst each other, because it hurts me so bad to hear them call each other bitches and hoes, and they think it's cute. And I'm just wondering, what's the psychological advantages of being hateful and disruptive here on these YouTube platforms? Women and doing it to women is one thing that I would believe that it causes men to just say, you know what, I don't care anymore. Y'all treat each other the way you want to treat each other. But when I look at it, that's not the way it should be. We should try to, yeah, we can be in disagreement about things. Oh, you don't know that person. Well, see, a lot of us say we don't know that person. I don't know people either personally, but when I get on YouTube and listen to a person talk about things and the way that they move, VS and this dude Jason, which we all know, he has called people on people, especially black people. He makes fun of them. And like I tell people, you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And when it comes to racism, that's an enemy that we need to keep close to us. We need to find out, even in politics, what's going on in the world. We need to, because there are politicians out there, believe it or not. I'm going to move around here a little bit, get out in this sunlight. There are politicians right now that are wearing Klan outfits now. You know, they went from the, like I said, they went from wearing the sheets to wearing the suits. And we have to be very cognizant of what's going on in this world. Uh, the man that she associated herself with on her platform, uh, it made me sick within myself. You don't know what I'm saying? I mean, if you hate people, if you hate yourself that much, why are you hating your brother and sister? It's throwing us back into the slavery eras. You know, I listened to Miss Olivia's platform yesterday too, and she made a lot of sense. She made a lot of sense. Women are coming at each other with the bigger. And if a man gets out there and wants to try to help say something about it or do something about it, you know, yeah. Well, BS had him up on her platform, talking with him about Jay Wilson. And even if we don't like Jay Wilson is a black homosexual guy. He's a black man, regardless of what he prefers. And she was kind of just ribbing him and talking to Jason about, you know, finding out information and it's crazy. It's crazy. Then she lives, I'm moving around. Then she lives back in the past to where she puts up old videos of shit that happens and really, yeah, we all have a history, but trying to use that history to tear one another down as black people, to me, that's kind of asinine. It really is. It's asinine. Uh, like I said, Sir King yesterday did a fantastic job of talking to VS, talking to us about people like VS and what goes on. I haven't heard anything from like the major players like uh, Duchess Kelly Love, James. I haven't heard anything from even Beefing 313. You know, I used to look at these guys and I look at some of them on their platform, and Beefing 313 used to come out and talk about things very relevant. And I think what's happening now on these YouTube streets, especially with our women, is becoming very relevant. They're becoming so bitter, 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 bitter. And it's a shame that they're saying and doing things. Now, in one good light, they had the cook-off challenge. You know, I enjoyed watching the women out there trying to cook, and there were some guys in there trying to cook too. You know, the challenges that they got. Then they got some silly challenges like the thick lip challenge. What in the world are we worrying about people with thick lips for? You know, that, see, that's the kind of racial associate things that the Karens and the crack and the other white folks put out against us, man. Come on, talking about black folks with thick, big lips and all that. We know we know who we are, where we come from, and what we do, but that big thick lip challenge. I kind of disagree with that. Uh, Another thing that I'm watching for and looking forward to happening is pretty soon the internet and YouTube and all this social media crap is going to change because they got different rules coming out every day about bullying and harassing people and talking stuff, doxing, which is one of the major reasons why we have all this drama on YouTube. People go in and look at people's past life and try to bring it up. You know, if we all want to live in the past, let's go back to the Neanderthal time and caveman time. You know, we're not studying about the way things are changing. We have climate change going on. We also have that C word coming, that COVID-19 is coming back. They say it's coming back, and people are not being careful with it, or some people are being careful with it. If it's coming back, we need to know. You know, we need to figure out what we're going to do as people. Uh, Getting shut in again. No, we don't need that. We need our scientists to start getting together. This world needs to start to work together and see what things are going on. Yeah, I'm sitting outside, so there's traffic running. Uh, like I said, there's a lot of shit on my mind here in the last few days, and especially looking at relationships and how they're breaking down and how people are more greedy for money and greedy for just trying to be popular out there. And when we're all are equal in the eyes of God, you know, I'm thankful each day that I'm able to wake up, thankful that I'm able to sit around and look at stuff that makes me go and think about things. Myself, I'm planning on doing something that somebody said at my old age I'm crazy for doing. I plan on leaving the country. I'm going to admit it. I mean, it may not seem like it, but I'm working on that kind of stuff. You know, I really want to get away from here. I want to get to where I want to enjoy myself and enjoy life, you know, while I still can, because I had a bad battle with that blood clot in my lungs. And that made me realize, hey, it's time to get moving. It's time to get out there and enjoy things. Like I said, walked around, went to the fair, did a live from there to show people that there is more to life than this YouTube. Do I get up here and listen to it? Yeah, I listen to it. But like I said, this channel here is for me to express myself after I hear stuff. The kind of stuff that makes me angry and the kind of stuff that brings me joy. Jay Wilson, I'm not going to signify about Jay Wilson because, like I said, he's a snake oil preacher. He's always been a snake oil preacher. Jay Wilson, we know Dovey is ill. You know, we know Dovey says things, and Dovey's on medication. When a person is like that, you have to overlook some of the things they say and some of the things they do, and you have to talk to them, let them know that, hey, Dovey, don't put me in it. Don't bring my name up. I can imagine why people are like they are here on these YouTube streets. You know, I was thinking that you could come out here and be yourself, but then sometimes you have to be. You're not going to be liked. You're not going to be loved. And those that do love you and care about you, they're not going to sit around and try to spread rumors. They're not going to sit around and try to say that you did this and you did that. They're not going to come up here and try to belittle your name just to get along with somebody else out there. Other people dabbing and dipping into your business, trying to question other people about you, that's kind of fucked up if you ask me. You know, then going back and looking at their past life, bringing their families into it, bringing kids into it, that's another thing. How the hell do we expect our kids to have respect for us when we don't respect the kids themselves? That's something to think about. Okay, I have somebody here. I'm just looking at it now. I'm sorry, I seen my guest thing. Uncle Claude. Oh, let me get back there. Let me get you up here. Good morning, Uncle Claude. Is that you? Hello, Uncle Claude. Okay, it says authenticate with YouTube. Okay, is that you, Uncle Claude? We're having connection problems. Could you drop down and come back again, Uncle Claude? I'll put it back in there. Are you muted, Uncle Claude? Okay. Okay. I don't know what happened, Uncle. I don't know what happened, Uncle Claude. I don't know what happened, Uncle Claude. All this stuff here, it's screwing up. I don't know. It's the phone. I'm outside. I should have stayed in the house and done this, but I'm out in the sunlight. Okay. I'm okay. There you are, back there again. I see you. Hello, Uncle Claude. Hello, Uncle Claude. Is that
Oh,
you?
okay. I was wondering what happened there. I was a little scared.
Yeah, I couldn't
Can you?
hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now. Good, good, good. How you been doing, Uncle Claude?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sitting out here outside in the backyard, messing around.
I'm hanging in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your friend. Uh, you probably didn't feel like watching any football, though, did you?
Oh, I did. I mean, the I watched the games. Actually, last week I was 8-8 last week. I mean, 2 weeks ago. Last week I didn't do anything.
Right.
Well, the Steeler game last night. I mean, we were lucky to win that game. It was bad. Our offense is terrible. Our offensive line is terrible. Our quarterback seems like he's regressed. He's scared. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't get a
disgusted.
chance to watch the
Listen,
game.
you take the win, of course. He's never apologized for a win in the National Football League, but that was as ugly as it got. It was pretty bad. It just the Steelers have a long way to go in order to be a decent football team. The defense was outstanding, and that was a terrible injury. I prayed for Nick Chubb and his family. That was a gruesome knee injury. I'm pretty sure he's going to be out for the season. That knee was ruined last night. That was terrible.
Like I didn't get to see all of the game because I had other things to do. But I looked at the recap, and like you said, that injury with Chubbs. Oh my God! I believe he'll be out for the rest of the season. Just pray that it's not a career injury. Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of the Joe Theismann injury back.
Yes.
How many years ago
Right.
that was? I believe that was 85 too. I believe.
Oh, it's been over like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's been about that time.
That injury. Yeah. I remember watching that game when he was running down the sidelines and and his baby his bone just snapped, and oh my goodness.
Never played another game. Joe thought he was about 7. That's what he was. He was up there already. And if you remember, and that's the difference between LT and all. See, LT was never a dirty player. He was the first one to realize what he did and call for help immediately. I mean, LT was never the same season. He did not play the same. But yeah, I remember that. It brought me to that. And I have to give the Steeler fans a lot of credit because that happened in Pittsburgh. And you know, the Browns and the Steelers have been a heated rivalry from the beginning. The Steeler fans cheered Chubb, and they were giving him a standing ovation when he was carted out. And they showed a lot of class. They showed a lot of respect, as most of our fans do. I'm a huge Steeler fan. So. You're a Packer fan, right? Oh, what happened? Hey, what happened? I guess something happened. I guess I've been running my mouth this long and we'll just wait for Mr. Carruthers to come back.
No, I had to. What I did was mute my mic because we were getting feedback when you were talking, so that's why I did that, so I could hear you clear. My favorite team. I forgot
what team you rooted for. Was it the Packers or the Bears? I forgot.
Bears. Yeah, I'm a Bear fan. I got a friend that's a Packer fan, and me and him have those little Sunday rivalries. We had meant to go to that first game when the Chicago played Green Bay. I'm glad I didn't go.
Oh my God! I thought you guys were going to beat Tampa today. I mean Sunday.
No.
I really thought you were going to win.
You know what? That I don't know what happened with that game with them Bears. Everything on paper said we should have won that game. Everything on paper said we should have won it. But as it turned out, we lost it. So I don't know. But I did have fun watching the game. I was very, very disappointed in it.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure about him either. I'm not sure about Justin Fields. I'm not sure about him now. Y'all gave him weapons, but I guess we'll never know until the offensive line gets any good. Your offensive line.
That's what I'm looking at. Offensive line stinking right now to me. You know, they're not giving them enough protection. It's something going on with them Bears right now. Ever since they lost their wide receiver, which had to be their kickoff punt returner. Ever since they lost him, it looks like that team's been going down ever since. I don't know. I really can't say. How about them Cowboys, though?
I hate the Cowboys. First and foremost, they played two mediocre teams. The Giants are not that good, even though they won. And they listen, the Giants beat a team with literally a third-string quarterback in Josh Dobbs. So congratulations. Saquon Barkley's going to be out for about 3 weeks. So they're going to get smacked against San Francisco this Thursday night. They're not going to win that game. That's going to be that's going to be a brutal game Thursday night. And they beat the Jets without it's not like they beat an Aaron Rodgers Jets. I mean, everybody knows Zach Wilson is a trash quarterback. I mean, it's early.
This is going to be a rough NFL season.
Listen, the Cowboys fan base is the most delusional fan base in all of pro football. They're going to find a way to lose it. They might make the playoffs. They might actually win the division. But when they play a real team, they always fold. And they'll be showing some more Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and Starbuck highlights, and they haven't been to the Super Bowl since XYZ. That's who they are.
Well,
not a great team. They're just not.
They're the they get to the prom, but nobody ever asks them to dance. So
they have an owner who can't stand up his own way. And he's that racist bastard. I can't stand him. And I know to make a case they all are. I get it, but and you know what? I know we're talking about sports now, but you brought up a pretty good point when it comes to the politics of this country right now. And it's been like that actually for a while, but it's you see how emboldened these racists are, and they've been like that since Obama was president. Really, they feel like they can do whatever they want, but then when Trump got in there, then they really are like peacocks showing their feathers now. And it's like once the genie has come out of the bag, I mean, it's impossible to put back. It's ridiculous. But I'm sort of glad. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
In a way, though, I'm sort of glad that it happened because this way you know who's who now. Because these people were literally playing in our faces, and they still are. But this goes to show you that even though we have the right to vote, and I'm not going to tell you that vote, we have to learn how to vote correctly because a lot of us have voted for the wrong reasons, not just for the wrong people. Let me give it we had a chance, and I understand why we voted for Obama. And let's face it, we voted for Obama because we thought we would never see a black president in our lifetime. That's why many of us voted for it. Not realizing that number one, he wasn't really. He was black, but he doesn't have the black American experience. I mean, the guy's from Nigeria. His parents are from Nigeria.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, his father's side anyway. That's black experience. But okay, we figured. And let's face it, that's the thing about what we gave you a president and you had 2 terms. So you knew Trump down our throats anyway. And Trump, we know who he is and what he's been. The innocent 5, they're not the Central Park 5, the innocent 5. And you remember how Trump pulled out the ad in all the major newspapers warning the death penalty for innocent people.
Sure.
He told you how racist he was back then. And nobody caught on it, which was so stupid. But now you have Jim Crow Joe in there. See, people forget how Biden was right there. And you can still bring up, you can go to YouTube and look up all of his all the videos of him saying, he literally had to stop himself from saying the N-word. I don't want my wife to be around these people. I lock them all up. I mean, they gave you that. They're the ones with these crime bills. I mean, see, again, and I say it a lot, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, it's the same filthy bird. And the way I'm looking at
politics this year now. And another way is to pay attention to the ads that they're going to be running. We have Missouri, Kentucky, and all of us, we're kind of close neighbors and stuff. And I watched the political ads that they're running in Kentucky. They got this black guy that's running for governor now. And the ads that they are putting out about this black man is like, oh my God. They're really showing their horns over there in Kentucky. You know, if we pay attention to what politicians are saying about each other, it no wonder we have problems in relating with each other in real life out there in the world, talking to each other now, because whatever comes out about people. So
they're bold now. They don't care.
Very bolden. And I don't see this election year coming up next year as being one of the cleanest. I don't see it as being as one of the safest either, because you're going to have people coming out the woodwork, going after people going to vote for certain candidates like they used to do.
Well, see,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And then even in here, not only here, in foreign countries, they're doing it. Up in Canada, they're coming out of the woodwork against people.
They do that in Europe too.
Yeah.
This has been going on actually for a long time. It's just you have so much more access to media now, to where everything is exposed now. So we're gonna see more of this. I mean, wait till next year when it's the actual presidential year for the election. That's gonna be real mess. And I'm telling you,
I'm wondering if they're gonna.
There's gonna be a Trump DeSantis ticket. I'm telling you right now.
So, do you think that Trump is going to be able to run?
Listen, Trump should have been. Listen, I told you already, and everybody laughs at me like I'm stupid. Trump should have been unalived by firing squad for committing high treason by starting that. He tried to start the civil war in the country on January 6th. You notice how they like to clean things up when it's them that's doing the garbage. It's an insurrection when Trump and his Proud Boys, who are going to be the lackeys for all this, did what they did on January 6th. Now, when people do this in the streets, it's a riot. They're terrorists. They're looters. This, that, and the third. What happened in the White House? They were worse. They killed people. They're not getting it's called an insurrection. That's something better.
Yeah, because we did have a police officer die. Some people were hurt very badly, and some people were so traumatized they never even went back to work.
I mean, those are thugs. They're not. How come they're not referred to as thugs? They're not referred to as rebel rousers. They're not referred. Oh, that's right. They didn't look like us, Mr. Carruthers. They don't have the shade of
because did you notice the leader of the Proud Boys? Did you note that? Did you see anything funny that they tried to portray of him or make him look like?
Listen, he's a clown. I mean, I remember him. First of all, he's one of those I want to fit in somewhere guys.
Okay.
He's a clown. Didn't he end up getting 18 years or something, or 22 years?
No, he got 20. He's got the stiffest sentence of all of them, 22 years.
He got 22 years. It's still, listen, you can make a case that's still not enough. And no one has arrested Trump. He was the one who formed the darn thing. You got to do something, or else we won't have the country anymore. but no one wants to arrest him for that. They want to get him for all this other stuff, which he's gonna, his lawyers will keep the case and have it go back and forth or whatever.
You're right. But
they want to arrest.
Let's face it, though, for us. Let's face it, the judicial system was not set up for us. And if we really if we really pay attention to it, it didn't. I believe even if he was, no matter what, the judicial system was set up for him, the rich folks, the high paid lawyers, the high priced judges, and he kind of set himself up for that too, because I think he knew in the future what he had planned on doing. So he put into places in certain areas, and even if you notice statewide, federal judges, to when something came up against him, he would have an ally.
But here's the thing with Trump too. He's not even truly rich. He's paper rich. He's bankrupt rich. Like he's rich enough to where his stuff is solvent, but he's had to file for bankruptcy so many times because he's mismanaged funds. Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. He's stolen funds so many times as to where but he has the Trump name, so these banks are going to front him XYZ billions of dollars, so he'll never be broke. But he's not really. He's not. He wants to be part of the 2%, but he's not quite. Like they invite him, but he's got to leave early.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. When you got that
with the rest of the big boys.
Yeah, but see, if you get invited to stuff like that from the 2%ers, they're getting something out of him that they know. Right. Yeah, you wash my back, I'll wash yours. Even though I may not agree with your ideas, but I want some of that power that you got, and that's what he goes to them with, I think, thinking that he's got power. Because do you remember all the black artists and people that wanted to go to Trump Towers and talk to him before he even became president?
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. See, remember, Trump is from New York, and everybody remembers the Trump Towers, the Trump casinos. He was, to New Yorkers, Trump was a symbol of wealth. So that's why you heard so many rappers talking about he'll be the Black Trump, Trump will be this, that, and the third. Now, unfortunately, those words are coming back to haunt them because you see some of these black folks who are pro-Trump, and they're so stupid. He's not prejudiced. Y'all want to be just like Trump. God, I mean, some of our people, I tell you, some of us are just coolerific, man. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Kamala Harris. Look at her. Now she wants to be and I'm not going to curse on your platform, brother. But it's sickening to watch Kamala.
Hey, that's perfectly fine. I'm not fast anyway, so go ahead.
No. You know I've always respected you.
I won't say anything if you do, because I know how I get, because I be cursing on my own self. So, but like I'm saying is Trump and all these other politicians out there, and let's face it, it doesn't start just in Washington, D.C. It goes all the way down to Hollywood, the music industry, and all that kind of stuff. People want to. And when we start idol worshiping people, that's where we get in trouble at. Do you know that the biggest percentage of people that are idol worship aren't from this country? They're from other countries.
Of course they are. That's why we are the trendsetters of the world. You know what? The crazy part is, and we are at our lowest form in history when it comes to our country and black people. it comes to black music and black fashion and black culture, we are at our lowest that we've ever been.
Yes, we are.
But we still the culture. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah. Oh, I know about it because the pride, we don't have enough pride in ourselves to even keep up with our culture from day to day one, day two. Our women are going around here trying to look like Barbie dolls now. They're going around here.
Dolls are men.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just thinking about how women, talk to me today. Even as I'm an older gentleman, I done been around women all practically before some of them women were born. And when I can tell you that, hey, look, I know you're going to do this, this, and this. First thing you say is I'm being a male chauvinist or I'm trying to control you. No, that's the way the world has been since throughout the beginning of time with men and women, especially with different generations of people. We still have women that are having babies at a young age. We still have mothers going out here trying to be friends with their kids instead of being parents with them. And we still have the men running around here trying to be what they're not, what they see on TV, that gangster, that thug, that hard knocker, when really he should be out there trying to support his family like James Earl Jones did in Claudine. Yeah, he made the mistake, but when he fell in love with a woman with kids. He got with her and he made it work. Yeah, for a moment he let the outside people influence him, but when he realized that he really cared and loved this woman, no matter what happened, it was left up to them to become a family and a unit. So, and a lot of men are doing that now. And like I said, in our sector, let's face it, we have a cornucopia of people, things that go on in different people's lives. Some people, like I said, are hurt. Some people don't even need to be on here, but due to the word, free speech and being able to click on an apparatus and tell people crazy stuff, and then we'll sit up there and listen to it instead of sometimes I turn it off, sometimes I listen if it makes sense. But if not, but like I said, I love doing things like you and I did the other week, and before that, sports, teasing each other, men talking about sports. You know a little bit more about it than I do, even though I'm older, but I can still relate to how enthusiastic you are about your sports teams and how you love your New York teams.
I only love really one dude. I mean, there's only really two New York teams that I really care about, and that's the Yankees because I sort of grew up on them, and I somewhat care about the Giants a little bit. I care about the Knicks a little bit, but I'm a Laker fan, so I'm weird because when I was growing up, I was so I just was a Steelers fan. The Knicks were at the tail end of their championship run when I was little, so I was a fan of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was like the first basketball player that I really got into. But as far as like sports, my first real sports hero was Reggie Jackson, and he was a Yankee in '70s. He came to the Yankees in '77. Before that, obviously, he was with the Oakland A's, and he's really the main reason I became a baseball fan. And in fact, that was the year after. That was the year after Henry Aaron retired because he retired in '76.
Right.
If he retired with the Milwaukee Brewers because remember he started out with the Milwaukee Braves. Even though he went with the Braves to Atlanta, he wanted to finish up in Milwaukee. So that's how I got really into sports. And, of course, the Steelers, watching Lynn Swann, John Stallworth.
Yeah.
That's how I became a Steeler fan. Because, see, the Giants were so bad, they would be losing so bad, they would switch over to either the Cowboys or the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I was able to become a Steeler fan, because I just liked that team. They were a tough team. And that's how I got to be fans of those teams.
Right.
Now, the athlete that I was able to really track his whole career from high school, college, pro, and beyond was Magic Johnson. When he played, in fact, that was about 77 too. When he played for before he went to Michigan State. I forgot the name of the high school he played for, but he was the first athlete that I really followed, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a Laker fan. Even though it was hard to watch, because even though, God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant, I wasn't a huge fan of Kobe as a player. I was more of a Kobe fan when he retired. As a father and seeing what he did, that I was more proud of Kobe with that than as a player.
Right. Oh, well, look, we got a woman up here. Good morning, LaGail. I'm glad to see you up here. She just, yeah, but no, my sports ethic came. It came after. Oh, to be honest with you, Uncle Claude, when I was in my 40s. Now, don't get me wrong, I followed sports. I knew all about sports. But what happened to me trauma-wise when my voice changed, I kind of left the sports scene and went into the music business and then the ladies business scene with his voice. You know what I'm saying? But I did follow my teams. Now, like I said, I was born and raised in Chicago. From up to the age of 13, then I moved to a little country area out there, which is one of the poorest rural areas there is in the United States, called Hopkins Park, Illinois. They even did a special with Oprah Winfrey out there about how poor Hopkins Park has become. And it's only 65 miles south of Chicago. So, but when I was out there doing this, I watched my sports because, like I said, we had TV and living in the country, rural country. They didn't have cable then. They didn't have none of the internet stuff, but we had TV. And I watched the sports out of Chicago. I watched my Bears, the Blackhawks, and the White Sox and the Cubs, because they were rivalries right there. We had a rival team in the city of Chicago. And by me living on the north side of Chicago, I kind of favored the Cubs. Now, I had a niece, and they lived on the south side, so they were White Sox fans. So that's how my rivalry with the Cubs and the Sox got together. But when it came up to football, it's always been my Bears and the Green Bay Packers, because they were rivalries. I love the Packers. And you remember when the Cardinals were in St. Louis?
Yes. Of course, I remember that. Hart was the quarterback.
Yeah.
In fact, Terry Metcalf, I remember him. In fact,
Terry Metcalf was one of them. You're right.
He had a son.
And see, when I moved to Missouri, I used to go to the games up there in St. Louis, and then I started getting hooked with the Cardinals before they left and went to Arizona. Yeah. They were the greatest show on turf at one time. Do you remember that saying? The Rams, yeah.
That's Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner. Team very well. They should have won bowls. They only won one.
Right.
They were lucky to win the 1-2 because they were a foot away from losing that. That would have been McNair and, God rest his soul, the great Steve McNair, Eddie George. That team, that was one of the most exciting Super Bowls too. That was a very good game. Very good game.
Very good team. And I kind of got lost in the sauce when it came to sports because I was doing other things, and as I got older, I did different stuff. And here lately, I've been getting back into it, watching watching different things, but I can still remember the good old days, with Walter Payton, Brian Piccolo. So yes, yes,
Bears.
yep,
I remember
Chicago
how,
Bears.
yeah, I remember how Bill Cosby used to. I know it's like taboo to even mention his name now, almost. I remember how he used to say that Gale Sayers was so fast that he would be able to. He was so shifty. He was sort of ahead of his time. And I remember he had a gruesome knee injury himself, and he came back and led the league in rushing. I believe it
In
was
rushing.
69.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think it was 69 when he did that. He only played about 6-7 seasons, right?
That's about it. I don't think he never had one of those kind of careers that say from the Green Bay Packers, Bart Starr or
Well,
yeah, he never had one of those kind of seasons or years. And I remember Joe Namath, man, oh God, with his fur coats and everybody's talking about Broadway Joe back then. When I was a kid coming up, it was Broadway Joe.
Yeah, well, that's a little before my time. Even though when I saw Joe Namath, I saw him in the 70s and he was shot. I mean, he couldn't even move. His knees were so bad.
So bad, right? But you should have seen him in his heyday. Yes. In his heydays, he was something else. And he was one of the first quarterbacks to predict his win in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, for Super Bowl III, that's probably the most important game in football history because it forced the merger.
Yes.
Because the AFL, you remember that the AFL was looked at as a joke.
A joke, a big joke.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers steamrolled both teams they played. They played the Chiefs and the Raiders, and the Jets were looking like a dog because the Colts had manhandled Cleveland in the championship game. They manhandled them. Everybody was thinking the Colts would win by at least 2 touchdowns. But, and even though Namath should not have been the MVP, Matt Snell should have been the MVP. But Namath is the flashier name, and of course, back then the quarterbacks called the plays. It's totally different now. You know that. I mean,
yes.
These quarterbacks are baby. They're baby.
Well, they are baby. They are baby, but you got to look at the money that they're paying them players too nowadays. So they're trying to get all their money's worth out of them. So,
I understand that.
Yeah. If I'm gonna pay you all that money, I want somebody to protect you. I don't want nobody to hit you. But do you think
the Jets? That's the difference.
Yeah, but do you think that it's getting away from that now with all these running quarterbacks we got now? We got a lot of running quarterbacks. They'll take off out of the pocket in a minute and run.
Well, it's a whole different game now too. You have to move your feet as a quarterback now. You can't be a statue, or you have to have a Dan Marino type quick release. And actually, his release is just Marino was bigger and much more effective with it.
Yeah, but with the training, I mean, athletes are, let's face it, they have gotten faster, they gotten stronger, and their mentality is more of a brutal game now than it used to be. That's why they're changing so many rules in football.
Well, they have to, because like you said, they are getting bigger, faster. I mean, there's more knowledge. They're eating better now. Now you can make your case that the drugs are better now too, but that's another story. But
Yeah, stuff's getting legal, more legal now. I know what you're saying.
But they have to level the playing field as much as they can. What they should do is get rid of these artificial turf because that's ruining a lot of these players' careers as well. Now the turf isn't as bad as it was in the '60s and '70s
Oh no,
because that
no, no.
artificial that was like um, concrete. I mean, that would ruin so many. And then there would be certain divots and messed up parts. I remember the old Veteran Stadium in Philadelphia. That was a horrible um, artificial turf. Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Remember Bush Stadium for years
Oh yeah,
had the artificial surface.
yeah.
I remember that. Of course, Houston Astrodome. I remember that Astrodome.
That was a mess.
That was
But you know what? That came from. I don't know. I think football was made to be played in the elements anyway. When they went to stadiums and enclosed stadiums like that, it took away from me from the game.
it did
I
to
would
me.
much rather I would much rather see you out there in the rain, mud, the snow, the cold, out there playing a game than I would in a nice, comfortable stadium with some artificial grass ain't really real anyway, and it seems like the injuries are more devastating now playing on this turf warfare than it was on grass and being out natural. I would say so.
You know what? The Minnesota Vikings lost their entire home field advantage going into the dome. I
Oh
think.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
because
nobody used to go to Minnesota. Everybody talking about Lambeau Field. Nobody wanted to go to Minnesota in January to have to play a championship game. Nobody wanted to go there. And we know about Chicago, how oh man, that 85 Bears team with that defense and those elements, nobody wanted to go there. Nobody. But these people are looking at only at dollar signs. Oh, and plus, oh, I have a dome stadium and I could get a Super Bowl out of it. Look at the revenue. Yeah. So that's why you see a lot of it too. It's when it all comes down to it, it's all about the money.
yeah, yep, it's all about the money. Hey, hello there, Vibrant Law. We're in here. I'm in here just doing a little talk today and getting things off my mind. Is just my thoughts. And Uncle Claude is one of my guests up here, and we're talking a little sports. Thank you for coming up, dear. Thank you so much. But yeah, Uncle Claude, and I'm thinking that now. Oh, quick switch from pros to the college. What do you think about you know who prime time?
Listen, I love it. I think it's great. Um, you, the crazy part is I'm a Deion Sanders fan, even though I hated the Cowboys, and I'm not a big. The Atlanta Falcons. Who cares? But I have to give
Yeah,
Deion a lot of credit. I've always liked Deion. Even when he played in Florida, I liked Deion.
right.
Now, what he's doing, what I love it too because he's exposing a lot of these college coaches for the frauds that they are. Nick
Mm-hmm.
Saban's a fraud, man. And
Yeah.
he
Oh
always
yeah.
has been. I mean, Nick Saban, I tell you what, Nick Saban wasn't any good when he was in the NFL. He was terrible for Miami. He was a terrible coach. See, I think that prime time could work in the NFL myself, but
Well,
I do
well,
like that
yeah,
he's with these young men because
yeah.
see, here's Deion Sanders can relate. I mean, he's the easiest drafter of all time. See, who would you rather see come? Who would you trust your kid with? Nick Saban, who doesn't really give a damn. He just wants to win at all costs. Where Deion Sanders is going to show your son how to play the right way and can relate to your son and is going to treat you a certain way. He's going to treat you fairly. He's going to treat you like a man. I'd rather trust my son with Deion Sanders than any of these other college coaches.
Well, yeah, and then too, he can relate. You see what I'm saying? He can relate. That's one good thing about it. But here's another thing that I'm looking at. How long are these people, well, the news media, I'll put it that way, going to be behind Barry Sanders supporting him, especially when he's outshining all the other white colleges in the coaching scene and the coaching era right now?
Well,
How long are they going to support him?
You've got people that are already going against him right now. I mean, you've got people already who have. I mean, look at that Colorado State coach. Did you hear that he had a bounty out on his son?
No, I haven't heard that news yet. I haven't got when did
yeah.
He put a bounty on Deion Sanders' son. Now, was this because of
bounty on his son, Sanders? I mean, I guess they were trying or whatever. Isn't that horrible? But that's this is how they get down. And remember, the other coach had the nerve to I want to look at him eye to eye like a man. He wears shades. I guess his mother didn't teach him right. I mean, that was so out of pocket that Deion used that for motivation, and Deion bought his mother to give one of the speeches prior to the game last week. So people have already gone out of their way to just try to discredit and disrespect Deion Sanders. And of course, there's always the coons that gotta put in their 2 cents. Like, what's that piece of garbage name? Jason Whitlock. I'm so sick of him.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
We will never. I have to get this off my chest. I'm sorry, Mr. Carruthers.
Go ahead.
Never going to get. We will never get anywhere as a people until we eradicate these coons from our midst, man. These coons have been holding us back all the time, and for every Jesus, there's at least one Judas, man. I'm tired of it. We have put up with these people far too long. They have hindered our success for far too long. We have to eradicate them. We eradicate them. We're going to stay like hamsters in a wheel, man. We're just going to keep going round and round, going nowhere until we get rid of these coons. Get rid of the Jason Whitlock.
What's the best way to eradicate them? Because they're always out here even on social media. You see what I'm saying? So, and then, like I said, I've seen some stuff on here the last 2 weeks that has turned my stomach, turned my soul, and made me believe that, hey, I need to get out of here, because our people they're not getting nowhere. They're not doing anything with each other.
Well, that's what the devil is definitely busy. That's what he wants us to do.
Yeah, the devil. We just can't say the devil is here, because the devil is all over the world. Put it that way.
We're in his world. Carruthers, he told you that.
Yeah. And when I tell people that, well, the world belongs to the devil. It's either up to us to make it better for ourselves, or to live the way he wants us to live, which is in sin, which is in greed, which is in gluttony, all them things that make us crazy in our minds too, because a lot of people minds are so twisted and ill. That's why I can't, I can say a lot of things about stuff because I don't do it. I never have done it. Never thought about doing it. I mean, smoking pot to me, okay. Some people say it's good. Some say it's not good. But then when you get up here and you're doing it and you're doing it live on YouTube or per se, and then you talk so asinine after you're smoking, that makes me wonder, is it really that good for you?
Well, see, we have to also remember too, Mr. Carruthers, this isn't the weed that from my generation or your
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah, that's true. Hello, your pleasure, 721, dear. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was in a conversation there.
Man, this weed is coming out of somebody's petri dish. They've extracted whatever out of this plant, and they've made so many strains of it now. And you would think, with weed being legal, that you would think, because if you have the weed that you're supposed to have, you're supposed to be calm. You're supposed to be relaxed. These people are acting more of a fool now than they've ever acted.
Well, do you think it's because they're adding shit to it though? Let's face it, people they've been known to, even the people that use it, they'll go get that extra little embalming fluid or whatever they're putting in it, and whatever kind of, it's a euphoria, and people should know. I don't care what they say. I've heard it so many times in my lifetime. You will never get that same euphoria you had the very first time you tried that stuff.
Well, that's what they call, you're always chasing that first high. That's what they say.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm not going to sit up here and say I never smoked weed before. I mean,
right.
Years ago I did, but I mean that was so many years ago. And plus, you know what, man? When I was a child, I did childish things.
The childish things. That's right. And I think, and I'll just go to talking about myself a little bit. I think I was around 17, well, 18 when I hit my first joint, as they say. But like I said, during the time I was growing up, things were a hell of a lot different. We respected grown-ups. We may have done the sneaky stuff, but when it came to grown-ups and old people, it was yes, sir, yes, ma'am. We didn't mind helping grandma up the steps. We didn't mind helping, people push their grocery carts at a grocery store or something. We spoke with each other with decent convictions. And now, like I said, even now, it's always negativity, and it hurts me to hear women calling other women bitches, they call each other hoes. But yet, if I was a man sitting up here doing that stuff to them every day, I would be ostracized. But I'm supposed to, you expect me to accept you doing things to each other as women, and I'm supposed to treat y'all as a queen, but you're not treating each other as queens. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We have to be careful, because here's my thing, and this is only, I can't speak for anybody else. Not every man is a king, and not every woman is a queen. I mean, they just throw these names out there like those are titles that are earned. Okay, you have to earn that title.
But here's my point.
The title queen. You have to earn the title king. I mean,
right. But
I didn't hear the.
We teach ourselves that we come from royalty, the motherland, where they had all the kings and queens. Yeah, they brought us over here, enslaved us, but that shouldn't take away our crown. But what I'm saying is, if you can just stick with that idea and once in a while honor yourselves and say, you know what, I'm not going to do this to you anymore, sis or bro. I'm not going to say these kind of things. That's like the N word. You see what I'm saying? The N word should never ever have to come in our vocabulary. It's something. It's something that they gave and said to us when they whipped and chained us, and when they, stole the women and all this kind of stuff. That's the name that they gave us. But just because they gave us a name doesn't make them our masters. You see what I'm saying? To me, they became the masters when we started doing the same funky stuff they're doing, or saying the same thing that they're saying, or treating each other the way that they would treat us.
Well, see,
So
now you hit the nail on the head, Mr. Carruthers.
yeah, yeah. But I've been
see,
feeling that
this
way
goes
for the
back to Bible
longest.
times too.
Yeah,
This
it
is how
does, and like
here's
you
the
said,
thing.
mhm,
The Bible is our history book. It really is, if you really look at it. Every time
yeah,
we've tried to like the nations, God has punished us. Why do you think we're being punished right now, Mr. Carruthers?
because we're not listening. We're not listening. We're not listening.
We have failed to listen to him and his instructions.
Mhm. And so
we have fallen
here's
so far away from God now.
yeah. But here's what I'm saying. If we know these things, why aren't we I'm not talking about anybody else out there. I'm just talking about us as Black people that were brought over here into that slavery mentality. Why aren't we trying to change it? Why is it that every time the white man waves a dollar in front of our face, we're dancing like a puppet on a string? Instead of saying, you know what? You disrespecting my sisters, my brothers and my sisters. I'm not going to get out there just because I can make $1 million in one day by saying the N word. I'm not doing it.
Because that those men and women have built their entire lifestyle around that $1 million, Mr. Carruthers. See,
Money. There's a lot of ways that's been said. Money is the root of all evil. The lack of money is the root of all evil. But in all essence and actuality, if you're selling your soul for the money, how in the hell can you preach to me about God then?
Well, first off, those preachers that's not the same God that we are worshiping.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
See, they're worshiping their God who, listen, they told you who they are about. They
and that's my point. See, that's my point. We have to realize
and that's another misnomer too.
Misnomer like what? Misnomer like what? What type of misnomer?
The most, and that's the misnomer is they say that money is the root of all evil. That's wrong. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. Money itself, and even in the Bible, it tells you that too, that money is good for some things, but you should not worship money. See, that's the thing. And in fact, you can hear it in today's music. It's all about it. If it ain't about a dollar, it don't make sense. It's everything is their whole survival is about a dollar. It's about making money. It's not about uplifting our people. It's not about taking care of your household. It's not about doing things in the community. It's not about any of that. It's I gotta get mine. You gotta get yours. It's not each one teach one anymore. Hey, Miss Brown, baby, how are you? That's the issue.
Yeah, that is the issue. Hi, Brown, baby, how you doing, dear? That's the issue, and that's my point. A woman will leave her man because he doesn't make enough money for her. A man will leave his woman because she's not making enough money for him. And when they completely forgot about, you know, the what God has put aside for a family, what he meant for a family to be, marriage in particular. And really, I don't even think about the word as marriage, because I didn't see where God said, let no man put us under, when he made Adam and Eve. You know, there wasn't all that big speech about cling unto others and all that good stuff, because I think he knew that we were going to F up sooner or later. Good afternoon, Candy Cane. I'm going to drop this link. I want to see how many people have been listening. If they want to chime in on this conversation about anything, or you want to talk about anything today, folks, today will be the day to do it. And no, I'm not really doing music. I'm opening up my chat so I can get an idea of what you would like to hear or talk about as far as on just my thoughts. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get established what people want to talk about. We got elections coming up, and actually Uncle Claude and I are football fans, so we're going to be talking football some too, and music and whatever. And I appreciate you guys coming in and you know, talking to each other and saying hello to each other, just like I do on the music platform. And it's beautiful when I see that like that. Now, Uncle Claude, getting back to money. What do you think? Do you think America's going to have to change over a new currency or redo the almighty dollar, as they say, with the Bitcoin business?
I don't think so, because Bitcoin has proven to be pretty much a fraud too. A lot of people, yeah. Most people have lost money off that Bitcoin. Every time they try to introduce something new, it always falls flat. Yeah. I think the bigger issue is what's going on with China, Russia, and some of the African nations. That's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
That could force America, if these other countries start to abandon the dollar and go to that could force America's hand. And
right.
That's why Gaddafi got killed, by the way, because that's why Obama and them killed him. And remember, that was all done under Obama's watch, because he was about to introduce a currency where the African nations would have been self-sufficient and wouldn't have to rely on not only the American dollar, but the British pound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Chinese dollar is. I have no idea. But Africa wouldn't have had to even deal with those nations. That's why they killed Gaddafi.
Okay. Well, right here, Ms. Brown Baby says she feels that Africa is going to be a leader soon in currency.
It should have been already. Because
but you have to consider. I think we have to consider the source of who's running Africa right now, though.
Well, the Chinese is now. That's the problem.
Yeah. See, so
that's why. See, it doesn't benefit the Africans any. So that's until the real African people rise up.
Right. That's it. I was just going to say that.
Nothing. And what kills me is some, not all, because again, I never do anything in absolutes. But there are certain people from the continent of Africa, no matter where they come from, whether they're from Nigeria, whether they're from Ghana, whether they're from Senegal, there are certain ones that still look at Oh, Black American, Akata, we can't work with you. You cotton picker. Are you
Yeah,
serious? You
yeah,
clown. Your word for
yeah.
this so cotton picker. You sorry asses. See, I apologize, Mr. Carruthers.
No, go ahead, Uncle Claude. I tell you, this is the platform for that. This is
We
my
would not
channel for that.
be here if it was not for us.
Right.
I mean, it's an absolute disgrace, and that's what makes the civil rights movement an absolute failure too, because every other denomination of people have benefited from the civil rights movement, but the people who's supposed to benefit, and that's us.
That's
We
the
haven't
right.
benefited from it.
No, we haven't. We're always willing to let other people come in from other countries, get them up on their feet, lift them up, but at the same token, we're still being held down. And once you get over here with us, instead of you, I believe, fighting for us, helping, showing us appreciation, hell, you forget. You forget. See, that's what I'm saying. If we're all Africans, if we're from an African nation, we're the ancestors of an African nation. How come Africans aren't trying to utilize themselves as a people and say, you know what, we are going to do this. We have one of the richest continents there is. We have all this that we can give to our ancestors.
That's another. Africa is not one of the richest continents. It is the richest continent. In fact, Africa is the only self-sustaining continent. All of the resources all reside in Africa. No other continent can say that. No other continent can say we have gold, we have silver, we have oil, we have the forests, we have the coal. No other country can say that but Africa. I mean, no other continent, excuse me.
Continent, right.
And that's another thing too. People try to look at Africa as a country. There's about 61 different countries in Africa.
Right.
But again, it's a divide and conquer thing when it comes to that, because there are so many tribes within certain countries, and then what happens? They've been at the mercy of the Europeans and now the Chinese.
Chinese that have came in and taken over, right?
I mean, I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether some of them have lost the fight or some of them are fighting, but they haven't gotten the backing that they need. And it's probably a mixture of both. But
well, there has been, they've always had internal fighting over there amongst the different tribes of the continent. They've all, like Zulus and Watusi, and then they got
the Bantus.
Pygmy tribes. There are different, it's just like the Indians were here in America. They fought against each other for territory, but when that man moved in and then used one tribe against the other tribe they were able to take over here. When you look at it that way.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's been the way. It's always been a divide and conquer.
Right. Thank you. Divide and conquer.
Look at our people, and it's gotten to the point where they don't even have to do or say anything. We do it ourselves now.
Right.
I can't.
Miss Brown Baby says. It is some corruption, but that's in all states. Chinese have not taken over Africa, according to data and studies. That's what they want you to believe. I believe, Miss Brown Baby. That's what they see. We got to be cognizant of what we listen to and look at on the news too, because they can trick us and analyze. I remember back when they showed us the first man landing on the moon. I looked at that bullshit and said, "Oh, y'all go to hell." You know, all this time, and just think about it. All these years, how come they haven't sent another manned spaceship up there? How come they ain't landed another man on the moon? What they have? What, 2 lunar landings, or was it 3?
Well, I don't know. My thing is, why are we wasting so much money going up there when we have to maintain this planet here? That's money wasted that could be going.
Well, they were going up there long before.
Mr. Cross, I don't give a. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
Go ahead. Uncle Clyde told you that's what this platform is for. I told you that, sir.
I don't give a damn about going to the moon or going to Mars or going to Jupiter. That's my reparations money. I'm like, what's that commercial? That's my money and I need it now. That's our reparations money. I don't give a damn about NASA and remember who was that? Your clown president, Ronald Reagan. Star Wars and all that other garbage. That's our reparations money. It's a disgrace.
Well, but what I'm thinking is that until that is what I want to say it, until we as Black people learn to band together and ask those questions, those deep questions, instead of sitting up here cussing each other out and hey, ask that man where your money at. I don't fault me, don't get mad with me, but on the same token, I'm mad too because I need part of that money. I may not even be here to see y'all get it, but one thing is certain for sure, I'm going to try to make sure that you do get it. See, I'm not going to talk against it.
I want my daughters and grandsons and daughters to have it if I can't get it.
There you go.
That is our legacy. Just like these other people pass down whatever houses and whatever monies they have to their family, we're supposed to be able to pass that down to.
Right.
That was owed to us from our ancestors. It's accrued a lot of interest right now. I'm just saying, the same way we fight for civil rights, how come we can't fight for reparations the same way? What's wrong with it? I don't get it. I mean, we should. Because
Uncle Paul, let me put it straight to you like this. There's some of us already that are so goddamn rich until they don't care about what we don't have. If you notice here in this world, we're always talking about people being poor on welfare. And it's usually the rich Black people that do it. I'm not going to bite my tongue. If you so rich and all these money, these Hollywood stars making, Black stars, and that includes Oprah. What did she do with her money? Took it over to Africa. For what? We're not going to say right now, but we know now that Oprah wasn't all she cracked up to be.
Crackhead Oprah, please, can it stop?
Yeah.
Oprah, first of all, Oprah is the biggest clown in the. I can't stand that. And it's sad too because, in theory, we should be able to celebrate an Oprah Winfrey, but I can't. She's the biggest stick in the grass when it comes to our people. I tell you what, ask the Jackson family how good a friend Oprah is. Didn't she throw Michael bus and wait? I mean, and had to wait years until he can't even defend himself. He's been dead since 2009, and then try to, I'm not sure. I want to believe the victims. You can't stand that crackhead whore. Oh man, she makes her and Stale King. I can't stand them. I've done enough uploads about them. I can't stand them. And you see that she recruited The Rock. Now I'm gonna use we need to help Maui. How about helping the Black folks who really need help first? I mean, I'm not saying not to help Maui, but we have to we want to help everybody else but ourselves first, man.
She owns property in Maui, and that's gonna be her.
One reason why I wouldn't help her. I want it all to burn. F them.
She'll. I bet you within the next. I ain't gonna give it a good 5 years. She's gonna be running for something over there in Maui, some high political office over there.
The people in Maui don't even want her there. Did you see those people? Those people were
But wait
upset.
a minute. They may not want her there, but they're accepting her money.
Of course. Well,
See? If I don't want you, I'm not taking your money. You see what I'm saying? And that's where people get life messed up at. You don't like the person, you don't want the person, but you're taking their money.
hold on, Mr.
Yeah, damn it,
Carruthers.
I've been living without you. I've been living without your money all this time, so why do I need it now?
Be careful with that, Mr. Carruthers. That'll be the excuse they use not to give us reparations. Be careful. You like
No,
to-
that's not what I'm saying. You know you owe me this, but I ain't gonna.
Mr.
Yeah.
Carruthers. Do you like the U.S. government?
As long as they give me my Social Security check every month.
You know the answer is no. Like the government. But
No, you know I'm not. You know I don't like the U.S. government because they're full of shit. Now I'll just say it.
So we can't say if we don't like something, we're not going to take their money, because I'm damn sure if they give me my 40 acres of a mule, I'll be the first one in line.
Okay, let me ask you this: Do you think it's possible? Okay, like they say, all this crazy shit that's coming up here lately. California trying to annex from the United States and all that bullshit. Do you think it's possible for us, if they gave us our reparations, that we could pick a state, everybody moves to this state, annex from the United States, and form our own little country here?
Listen, in theory, it could happen, but you know it won't happen. The sad part is there's too many. See, we gotta get rid of coons first. We until we do that, nothing's gonna happen like that. See, the problem is there's gonna be these Hollywood guys are so far removed from us.
Yeah.
See, they're the worst representatives.
Yeah. And then we worship them as idols, almost as idols. You know, we put them up on that little pedestal. You know, not even the actors, the singers and all that bullshit. I get so tired of watching people perform, and all they're performing is bull. They're gyrating their asses. Women are coming up there half naked. The men running around there with their clothes all half open, trying to expose themselves. You know, doing the sexual prowess kind of dances and gyrating on stage. You know, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. But yet we look at that and we're so enthused, we're so enthralled with it, and you know.
Well, that's the so-called stripper culture. You know, there's no culture to it. It's just
whatever happens to be in favor of the times right now, we all go along with it. You know, we all go along with it.
It's pretty sad. Then you can't even listen to. You can't listen to rap music anymore. You just can't do it.
Oh no, it's taking a whole new turn. It's taking a whole new twist.
And it's crazy because it's really driven by the female now. It used to be a male-dominated genre of rap music.
Right. And then
here's the thing that's cracking me up here. You know, and the women have always cried about how the men have disrespected them, this, that, and the third. But look at these new age females out in rap music. Now, there's a handful of them that are very good. I will say that. But for the most part, what's that girl's name? Sukihana?
You know, I really don't follow them that close, but
and what's the other one? What's her name? Oh gosh, talk about oh god, I can't think of her name. But she went to I don't know how a high school let that woman in there, and she's got some of the worst lyrics ever, man. I'm like, but
I quit watching them when I watched what's that girls? Them two girls. They had them snakes up there dancing with them, sliding between the legs and all that. I quit watching.
Oh God, you're talking about Cardi and
Cardi B
and Megan.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you know.
And
Anyway,
and then
little kid. At
then you
least
got this rapper, you got this other young rapper. He came out the closet, which there's nothing wrong with that. But then he started with the devil. That one video he did going down the hill.
little Nas X,
Yeah, Little Nas X. That was it for me. That was it.
I'm with
You know,
him. He was singing. He was absolutely singing, and it didn't. That had nothing to do with that. That's not gay or straight. That's just beyond stupid. If you're gonna gyrate on the devil, I don't care. I could have been a female. Who cares? I mean, that's just foolish. That's just
yeah, but see, he when he did that to me, doing that kind of stuff though, doing that kind of stuff, and he's of a certain group of people, they start looking at all people like that, all black people like that. I'm not saying that he had a message. No, he didn't have no damn message. They're looking at the act that they're performing while they're doing that song. That's what I'm talking about. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous.
There's people doing anything for $1.
Yeah.
That almighty dollar.
Yeah. Yeah. And that song was it's always been on time. It'll always be ahead of its time. And if people look at it today, it's still that way. Women will sell their souls. People walk the streets. It's crazy.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, man. It's really sad. It's really sad.
They'll lie, they'll cheat, for the love of money. People don't care who they hurt or beat. There's some strong words you have to look at and think about it. That's nowadays. That's today. And that song was written, back in the 70s?
Yep, that was, I think, was it 73?
Yeah, I believe it was 73. We'll double check on it just to make sure. Because I'm always, me, I will get in there and when I'm playing my music, I try to keep up with the year it came out, the artist, and all that good stuff. Yeah, it was released in 73. You're right.
Oh, man, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big music fan too. I mean, I love music probably as much, if not more, than sports. I'm not as well music as you, of course. I mean, you actually you performed. That was
that was part of me coming up. I did something that I love doing, playing and watching people back then. Like I said, I'd like to watch people out there dancing on the floor, having a good time. There was no argument. There was no shoot up. Now we had a little fight every once in a while. I'm not going to say it didn't happen. We had women coming in there grabbing their husbands by the head because they up in the club dancing with some woman.
That's a whole game. But that's not shooting.
Yeah, no, they weren't up in there shooting them or nothing like that. No. Mm-mm. And if they got into a fight out on the parking lot, it stayed on the parking lot. They didn't bring it inside, and even the men, they kind of, put your hands up, hey, let's get you put my ass is going back in here and have a drink, forget it.
There was a respect level that was
there. Right. Very respectful level. But somewhere, like you said, somewhere along the line, we lost it.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that I think we will get it back. Now, it won't be by any of our actions, but the Most High is getting tired of it. I mean,
that's what it is. He's letting us know. He's letting us know, hey, you got to slow down. All this we holler about bad luck that we're having, things falling down on us unexpectedly, even the weather, you got to realize, you got to think about, I look at myself, I search my soul. What am I doing to someone out there that God isn't liking or God isn't pleased with me doing? So once we can search within our inner selves and quit trying to use people, quit trying to get out there and say, well, okay, buddy, you need a helping hand, I'll give it to you. And then don't expect nothing in return all the time.
No.
When you do something for someone, don't expect nothing in return, except that it made you feel good doing it and you can help that person.
Yeah. And further still, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it between me and that person. I'm not going to be like, well, I'm not going to hold it over somebody's head either. Oh, right. I did you back in. Who cares? Either you do it or you don't. If you feel like that, I'd rather you not do it. I'll do it myself and get out.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd rather be without than you coming back telling people that, yeah, I did this for you and because I wanted to. Yeah, did nobody. And what makes me mad? Did nobody tell you to do it? Nope. You know, God, that makes me so mad.
They want a little bit of shine, which I don't get. That's not the proper way to do things. You do things because the way you want to treat. You want to treat others the way you want to be treated. It's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
For nothing less.
And I value your opinion just as highly as you value mine. And I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm not going to say that I'm wrong. But there should be a common ground that we can come to and say, you know what? We're going to try it each other's way and see how it works out. That's all.
And also, listen, we can respectfully disagree about certain things, but we can do it in a respectful manner. Just because
respectful manner. Very respectful.
In life. I mean, there is, and your way doesn't. I'm not always right. I'll be the first one to admit it. And I value other people's opinion. I value. I mean, my thing is, I don't expect everybody to agree with me all the time. I get scared if they like, yeah, you're right. I yes, man. Or yes,
well, I know one thing I'm not going to agree with you about. That's those Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's fine. There's a lot of times I don't agree with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was doing a lot of
my Bears are going to tear your Steelers up this year.
Not with y'all. But not with that. Our offensive line is terrible. But I think that's the problem.
And then you know I got my adopted children, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, you see. You have one team or you don't. You can't have a fallback team. See, I hate that.
Wait a minute now. Don't you have backup?
Listen, I'm a Steelers fan. I mean, there are other teams that I might root for if there's a certain player on there, but I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh no. I've learned. Trust me, I've learned throughout the years. You're in a wagon train. That wagon gets lost, and you stay with your wagon train.
That's just. I mean, there are teams that I feel okay. This team I think is the hot team, but I'm a Steeler guy. I mean, that's
Brown baby. I know my name. She's a little Steeler nation. She loves that little towel waving stuff.
Aren't you still showing up? And that's a shame that Mike Ditka didn't hand the ball off to Walt Payton once to give him a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean,
that's because, and like I'll say it again, I don't care what nobody says. This country is built on racism, prejudice, and they know as black men in athletic, and that goes for the women too. We are superior athletes, regardless of what anybody might say. The only thing we are, and they don't want to recognize that. Once they recognize that, boom. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't give him the ball, and he could have gave him that ball for that touchdown. But he was already his accolades were up there enough. You see what I'm saying? For him, for that coach, his accolades were up there enough. And if he'd have scored a touchdown, or they wouldn't be talking about him winning the Super Bowl as a coach. They'd be still talking about Walter Payton scoring that touchdown.
Yeah, but I mean, Mike Ditka wasn't even the most liked guy. I mean, they respected Buddy Ryan more than they respected Mike Ditka.
Yeah, but but you see, there's a difference though. Look at what Dicker went on to do even after he left the national in NFL. He became a commentator on TV.
Yeah, he was a commentator, and we all know how that worked out. And you see
Yeah.
how another Trumper.
But you see, they're willing to give. They're willing. That's the point right there. They're willing to give each other that chance, even though they know they might fail at it. With us, they're going to say we're going to fail anyway, unless we got people out there like the Shannon Sharps or the Deion Sanders, or that's a younger generation for mine. The generation that I grew up with as football players, they didn't have it. They didn't have the education that the next generation, like I said, Deion, Shannon Sharp, all them guys, they got that education. Back then, long as we were, and I'll include myself, fast, strong, able to win games for these schools, their schools, we were passed along because we were making them money. We were making them famous. Not thinking about ourselves as athletes, what are we going to do later on in life? See, that's another mentality we didn't have back then.
No.
And I'm going to say that from the 50s all the way up until I'm going to say till about the late 70s. That's a mentality black men did not have. Because I can say that they passed us through school. They didn't give a damn if we could read or write, long as we were making them money.
Well, we know that for a fact. Because remember Dexter Manley, who used to play for the Washington Redskins. Remember, they skipped him. He went to Oklahoma State. He couldn't read or write.
Right.
He ended up learning how to read after he retired because. So he was broke. That means he could read his contract. His lawyer probably robbed him blind. And who else was robbed him blind? And he's just one example, because we know there are several examples of that.
But like I said, we have to sit back as a culture, black people in this country, far as culture goes, having things to really, really be proud of. We have to look at it collectively, not individual wise. All this other stuff. Even when it comes down to gay pride, look at it as we have to accept the fact we do have black people that are gay. We do have black people that love other people besides that heterosexual type relationship we go through every day. We have to also embrace them, but on the same token, they have to embrace us as heterosexual people. We just can't be a separate group because we're all black. We're all black. And no matter what anybody out on the outside might say, we do have pride. We have dignity. And if it hadn't been for us, this country wouldn't be in the shape that it's in today, rich, fulfilling, being able to give people in the outside something that they never had, and that's freedom. Because there's still a lot of women in other countries that can't walk around and say things to men, that can't even own a driver's license. So we have to be thankful for that. We have to be grateful for those kind of things. They're not persecuted because they speak out.
Listen, America
It's not the best, but it's damn sure not the worst. Let's
No.
put it that way.
And that's the thing that really, that's the saddest part, because this country does it have the potential to be great? Absolutely. Is it great right now? Absolutely not.
No.
Would I rather be anywhere else? Absolutely not. And that's the thing that really makes it worse. I mean, Mr. Carruthers, I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
We are the most, that's the craziest part. We're the most patriotic people on the planet. Black Americans are the most patriotic people. And I can speak for myself, even. I mean, I'm a veteran of Desert Storm.
Yes, sir. I'm a veteran too of that Vietnam era. But let me let you in on a secret. Let me let you in on a secret.
You're the real veteran.
But here's what I'm saying. I might go to a sporting event or even at home. And I'm gonna be honest with you, people are gonna hate me for saying this. Some will love me, some will hate me, some will have controversy about it. When that damn national anthem comes on, I'm either trying to be in the bathroom or even at home, I turn it off.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that, because there's so much lies and so much BS that comes with that flag. There's so much pain. You know, the thing is, and I agree with you on that, we have, that's what drives me crazy about certain Caucasians. They put more stock in a piece of cloth than the people behind it. You're more worried about the American flag instead of the American people. That's disgrace.
Yep. That's true.
Well, with that, Mr. Carruthers, I have to.
With that, yeah, I'm going to get off of here too, because, like I say,
that's
yeah, that too. As Mom used to say, time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
It was fun too. I definitely enjoyed myself. I thank you once again, Mr. Carruthers.
Well, I thank you for coming up. And like I said, this platform here is just my thoughts. That's what it's about. And we'll get together. What night are you going to go on and do your football stuff so I can get over there with you and kind of tease you about it?
No problem. I probably will do it this Thursday. I will do it.
Okay.
Probably. Oh God, those Cowboys. Good. You should have. I don't know which jersey was it. I hope it was a Franco, or if it was a Mean Joe Green, or maybe a Troy Polamalu. Like make him real upset. I miss my Swans.
I think it was the Mean Joe Green jersey.
I had one. I had a Mean Joe Green jersey. I used to wear it all the time. I had a Lynn Swann jersey from his Pro Bowl in 1978. I missed that. It was a red, white jersey. His Brady, because he was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks to everyone who joined, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for coming up this afternoon, y'all. Like I said, this platform here is going to be for us to talk about things, especially that's on my mind. And I'll be dropping a link here now that I can drop the link and get people up here. If they want to talk, they can. If not, they don't have to. But I sure appreciate it. I miss Uncle Claude. Like I said, I appreciate you highly. I as from man to man, I do love you, bro. I do love you. And as an older man, I am proud of you too. I salute you, sir, 100%.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very high praise, sir. See, this is a very humbling platform, no question about it. I thank you.
Sometimes I do get a little emotional. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming up with Uncle, and especially, like I said, Uncle Claude, me and him. Now I'm getting emotional, Claude, because I think about all of the fun things that we have talked about in the memories you brought back to me. You know, being an older man and you're a younger man, and I appreciate you. It's like me. I'm gonna just say it like me talking to my grandson.
Oh, wow, wow. You have grandson in the 50s?
Yes, yes, believe it or not,
Oh,
yes, I do. Yes, close to 50. Yes, yes. Like you said, that's that generational curse. Some of the women in our family started out early.
thank you so
But
much.
no, my grandson is nowhere near 50. Let me quit that. They're going to kick my butt when they hear this. But no, they're close to. They're in the. Well, I'm not going to tell their ages. I'm not going. to. But they're up there. I'm proud of them because I'm a great grandpa. So what that tell you?
God bless. That's
Yeah, yeah. And once again, thank you for coming on Vocal Claude, and I really appreciate it. You made this old man happy today.
well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate
Okay.
you so much. Definitely do
Well,
this
folks,
again.
we will do it again. Promise. I promise we will do it again. And I'll be with you Thursday.
All right, you got it.
Okay. Take care. Well, folks, I like to thank all you guys that came up this afternoon, and I feel pretty good right now. Like I said, I took a break out from doing a little housework, and I had to come up here and speak my mind. I want to say thank all of you that came up and listened to Gail Wallace. Thank you for coming, Miss Brown, baby, my niece, love you, darling. You take care of that little one, okay? You know, a great uncle will be there. Uh, just my the well. Uh, who else was here tonight? Let me roll back the barrel, as they say, right quick. Vibrant Low with that smile turned upside down. Honey, thank you for coming and giving me a thumbs up. Thank all you guys for giving me a thumbs up, really. Those that did, those that didn't, that just listened and wanted to get some content, I thank you for that too. And like I said, people, this channel here, let's be better. Let's learn to get together. Mr. Gerald Bell, I can't forget you. You were up here first today. Thank you. Let's not forget that there are content creators out here who do have a good message at times. And I want to say to Sir King, Tofu Alley, with the remarks that you had the other day, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. We're not going to go into this. Is not no love affair, love fest, but people, if you want to hear a good commentary, go over there and listen to his platform about the shenanigans that's going on YouTube here, as far as our people are doing things with each other. I also got to give a shout out to somebody that has my back, but sometimes, you know, I really want to say thank you. Thank you so very much. Uh, they got my back because I can go to them and talk to them and let them know that, hey, I love you and it's going to be all right. Uh, it's it's great. It's great being on YouTube at times, and then other times it's kind of what shall I do or who shall I say things to without offending anybody. But there's also plenty of content creators that I do listen to. Like I said, if I don't agree with what they're saying, I'll leave them. When there's some on there, check out my community board. I share a lot of people when I think the conversation is necessary. One of those is Miss Dee Dee Love. I thank her. Quani, you know, there's going to be a lot going on this week on YouTube, folks, that I will be watching very, very closely. And I will probably be, like I said, up on my thoughts platform, talking about it, and won't be afraid to ask you guys questions and having you come up here and tell me what you think about it. Well, it's been a good day, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours almost. I'm going to get off of here and try to get something done. Thank you once again for coming up to this live, and be good out there. Don't take any wood nickels. Bye-bye.